Welcome to Lord of the Toolbars, short name LOT. This is Fredo. If you have a lot of plugins and therefore a lot of toolbars and a small screen, then this new extension may be helpful to you. Let me show what it does. Here is how my workspace was organized previously, and here is how it is with Lord of the Toolbar. You will notice a new visual element which is called the vignette stripe. So it has small buttons, either icons or short text, and when you hover the buttons you see small windows called palettes or favorite palettes, which give access to different icons that you have taken from existing toolbars. Okay. You will also notice here a slightly modified version of the standard toolbar of SketchUp. I have added a Save As. I have also added a Save Copy As automatic. Okay, we'll see that. I've added paste in place, and also I've added a quick access to set an active tab. So in SU 2021 you have even folders supported. Okay, so we'll see that in a moment. And here you notice these new buttons. These are personal commands. For example, this one will open a document which has been configured. This one will open a folder on your laptop, and this one is also something a personal command to give you access. So here is for explode. So it is only enabled when you have a selection. So if you now click on it, you explode the object. Okay, so we'll see that either in this video or in next videos. The vignette stripes contains icons taken from the various plugins you have installed and configured by group. So you just mouse over and you see the command appearing. So if you want to launch a command, for example here, this one, okay, you just click on it and you are done. So these different palettes can be also invoked via a shortcut that you have to configure. Here I took a W, so it will just cycle among all the favorite palettes, and you can select a particular command, and if you do so, it closes. Okay, so one particular palette is the history. So it is basically the history of all commands you have done in SketchUp. It is preserved throughout session, by the way. Therefore, for example, you see that I called Animator, and previously I called Fredo Spline. It works also for native commands when you call them even by shortcut. So, for example, move here, circle, or if I call them here by the icon, okay, they are recorded in this story. So relatively easy to access the latest command. You have even a button here to access the very last command. Okay, the history can also be accessed with a fast navigation window. Here I have assigned it shortcut Control Q. So you simply select you press Control Q and then you move by pressing Q again to select your command. Okay, so this is how the vignette palette appears. You can, by clicking, make the palette permanently visible, or you can close it. It doesn't matter, it's still there. Okay. So, for example, the history, I would shrink it, put it there. You can, by mouse wheeling, you can navigate in any palette as well. Huh? You can easily access all the. So it really depends. You can configure how the palettes render visually. You can even change the size of icons. Two extra features, and most features can be accessed by clicking here. So you get a menu of the various things that we will explore in this video or in other videos. You have a quick search, a quick command finder. So this is a window where you can access directly any command icons from plugins and some of the native commands, but as well a menu. Okay, so for example, if you tap explode, you'll see that you get access to commands coming from various plugins and also to some menu. And if, for example, you select this object, you can even access the explode of the selection, which is a contextual menu. So if I click on it, I explode the object. Okay, so the same thing. The quick finder can be pinned. You can pin it or unpin it, and you can shrink it or expand it. Normally, after you selected the command, it will disappear if it's unpinned, or it will shrink if it's pinned. Okay, so that's the second feature, and you have a last feature which I'll explain in a separate video, which is called a clean screen, which basically allows you to temporarily hide a number of the visual element here. Okay, so you see that here I remove all the toolbars, all the trays, and everything except I keep the history. Okay, so this can be configured with clean screen option. Okay, that we will look at in another video. Okay. To create a favorite palette, click on the control button of the vignette stripe, choose a new favorite palette. You need to give it a name, so let's call it drawing. You have the choice to put it in the vignette tab as an abbreviation or as an icon. If you do that, you have a selection of a predefined icon, or you can click custom icon to choose the icon you want in PNG, SVG, or JPEG. So let's say that we take this house. You can change the color. So let's take this blue. And you can also specify the columns and rows, although in most cases you will adjust it visually. And you have the size of the icon. So here I keep the default, which is 100%, and I create the favorite. So here I have my palette. Now, to fill it with icon, usually you go to the Master Toolbar Manager, which is this button, or which is also here accessible from the vignette stripe. So in this master dialog, you have two main panels. The top one in yellow contains the personal commands, some of the native SketchUp commands, and also sorted by authors, the various toolbars you have loaded from extensions. Okay, so you see that you also load the SketchUp extensions, and there may be also an assigned extension, which are either old plugins or extensions which have not been been given an author name. Okay. The second panel in green is for your custom toolbar. So we'll show that in a separate video, but you can define custom toolbars and use the icons coming from extension or the native SketchUp commands. Okay. So here the principle is to drag and drop icons from any toolbar to the palette. So you drag it. Okay. If now you want to drag the full toolbar, just keep shift down, and then you will copy the full toolbar. By default, there is a line break added. Note that the palette can have any dimension. Okay, so if you are like this, you just mouse wheel. Okay, so it really depends on what you prefer in terms of visual. In palette property, you can choose auto adjust if you want to have the palette showing all icons. Okay, so if I want to copy this, and let's say I want it here, now I have it here before the Curvilov icon. I can at any moment insert a separator after or before the command, or I can even insert a line break. Okay, so I can arrange, and I can of course remove a line break. Okay, so here is the palette. You retrieve it here in the vignette stripe. Okay, note that whatever is the size of the palette when it is here it is in auto adjust, but you see it for history lot. Okay, although it is one line where you can mouse wheel, when you get it from the vignette stripe, it shows all icons. Okay, so this is basically the principle is drag and drop, and indeed you can copy by drag and drop an icon from another palette. Okay, so here I copied it from the history. By the way, when you copy or move, so if you see a plus sign, you copy it. If you don't see a plus sign, then just press Ctrl to get it copied instead of moved. Okay, so you can freely do it also from the vignette stripe. So let's say I take the shadow, the sun shading icon, I take it from visual, and I want to transfer it to let's say the spline palette. Okay, so here it is, and it has disappeared from the visual. If I want to take the fog but copy it, I just press Control, and I get it here. Okay, so and now I have the icon here and also here. Okay, so that's basically the principle. You can manage your palette with this button, which is a favorite manager, which you can also access here. So favorite manager, so you retrieve your palette. So this gives also the possibility to show or hide palette, to change their name, to change their definition, and of course to delete them if you wish. And by the way, you can print palettes. So for example, if you want to print palette, so you get a window where you see all the palette, which you can now send to a printer or to a PDF. You can even show the details. That is, here you have the detail for each icon, where it comes from and what it is. Okay, so you can print individual panel and so on. You can, by the way, do that with the master list, okay, where you see that you can also have details. Okay, last point, in the master list you can of course filter. So if you type joint, you will find the joint push-pull command. So the filter applies to the icons, to the name of the author as well. If I type Fred, I will retrieve Alfredo extension plus this one, which is yes, freehand. Okay, so but if I type Fred, it will disappear. Okay, so that's how you do it. So it can be convenient to retrieve an icon, and of course if you press uh, a button here, an icon here, you execute it. Okay, so here is basically the principle for managing icons, so easy to move them or to copy them. Okay, so from one palette to another, or from the master list manager. On Mac, you retrieve the same vignette stripe, which you can move around and dock where it's convenient. You have also the palettes and the same capability to drag and drop icons from one palette to another. You have the same history, so same thing. When you type a command, it is recorded in the history. The master toolbar manager is also useful on Mac if you want to show or hide selectively toolbars, which is not very convenient on Mac. You have to go to View, Tool Palette, and click them one by one, and because it's a menu, it's relatively cumbersome. Here, I mean, you can just click to toggle the visibility. You can also, by right-clicking, show all the toolbar or hide all the toolbar of a particular creator. So, for example, all my toolbars are here shown. Okay, so you have more flexibility for that. It's available on Windows as well. Okay, you have the same clean screen. The options are slightly different, but because you have less docked element. The only difference between Windows and Mac is about the quick command finder. Uh, if you, for example, type explode, you will retrieve commands and menu which contain explode in their name, but on Windows, when you click on a particular object, group, or component, you would see the menu related to explode of the selection. Here on Mac, it's not possible in the current version. Maybe I'll try to manage to do it in a next release. Okay, so that's the main difference. In conclusion, Lord of the Toolbars is a good method to give more real estate to the viewport, especially when you have a lot of extensions loaded in your environment. Still, it allows to access almost all commands in your environment. The functions which I did not mention and which you would expect are the concept of backup. So you can back up your configuration. So in case you made a mistake, you can also export the data, the configuration, and you can import the configuration from other version of SketchUp as well as from any backup you have made or from a previous export. I would not recommend too much to play between different machines because things also depend on the setup of the plugins. That is, you need to have the same plugins loaded in each environment to be able to transfer everything correctly. However, and I can show you here, Lord of the Toolbars keep track of the icons even if the plugin is disabled. For example, here I have disabled Fredo Guides. So there are 4 icons which I had put in this palette. So they are still there. You cannot do anything with them, but it means that when I re-enable Fredo Guides, the icon will appear, okay, and will be functional. So Lord of the Toolbar tries not to forget command icons and make it its best to keep your environment stable. Okay. So this concludes this long video. There will be other videos on each of the various functionality and to go into more details. Thank you very much and enjoy SketchUp and Lord of the Toolbars.